to follow up on something there that I think is a big point for somebody who's watched the Pelicans a lot. And last year there was a stat rolling around, unofficial stat, that Anthony Davis was leading the league in times he went to the locker room in the game to tend to an injury. Goodness. Okay? And what Anthony Davis just said there was something we talked about on Media Day with Anthony Davis. He knows his importance as a leader is to stay in games and fight through injuries because, Brent, as you know, he's been banged up a lot throughout his career.
Yep, 75 games last year, 61 the year before, and you're right. There was a lot of talk last year about the fragility of Anthony Davis and, you know, all the things going on with the team. Trust me, Anthony Davis is not a player that doesn't want to go out and play. He was very frustrated by the fact that he was not at 100% for all the games last year. Let's face it, no player is.
Exactly.
But he would have loved to have not been nicked up as much last year just because he knew how important he is to whatever it is that this team is doing. He shoulders that responsibility. And so you're right, this year, Jared, for him to have things happen on the floor and him to stay on the floor, to him to get to the bench and suck it up and play through some of the things, he doesn't want that to be part of the conversation, even though last year every one of those things was legitimate for him. And the second part of that, Sam, is if I'm a New Orleans Pelican trainer, you bet I'm taking him back to the locker room. And I'm examining everything that's going on with him because of how important he is. So it's a little bit of a catch-22, but you're right, Jared. He has a focus that he wants to be on the floor. He wants to prove that he's a little bit tougher than what was talked about last year. He doesn't have to prove it to me, but he knows that talk was out there.
Well, he just had some bad breaks. I mean, look, it's a difference
Don't
between...
say breaks. Don't say breaks.
Okay.
That's
well, it's a difference between being injured and hurt. Look, all players, once the season starts, plays with minor injuries. But when you're hurt and can't go, you don't want guys out there hurt no matter how talented they are. But Anthony Davis do understand that when he's able to, when he gets a mild sprain or bumps and bruises, or like tonight, he took an elbow to the eye. It's one thing to go back to that locker room. It's another thing to stay in that locker room. But when you come back, you lift your team. And every night, when you strap it up, if they see you going out there ready to fight and play, it does something for the mentality of those other guys in the locker room. Because, look, as far as New Orleans, as far as Anthony Davis goes, that's how far they're going to go. And if he's injured or can't play, it's going to be a long, long season for the Pelicans.
All right, guys, let's get you on Lonzo Ball watch here. And I'm sure we'll hear from him post-game at some point. After the really solid game the other night, Ball just 8 points. He had 13 assists and 8 rebounds, so flirted with that triple-double. But Bones, the 3 for 13 and 0 for 5 from three-point territory is what we're going to continue to focus in on.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, I don't
Did you
understand.
have any high expectations? Because you and I seem like this is normal.
Yeah, I mean,
this is normal.
This is the kind of stuff where the Phoenix game, I'm going to say, wow, I'm really impressed that he scored that much. But to see that Lonzo is going to get double-digit assists, I don't think he's going to average that for the year, but to see him get double-digit assists, to have high rebounds approaching double digits, given the minutes that he's going to play for Luke, the shooting aside, that's where he's going to impact the game. He is forcing guys, Jared, to play at pace. He's forcing guys to get out in transition. He's forcing the opposition defensively to play him a little bit differently, to open up lanes, and doing the things that he is naturally gifted at doing. He will become better and better as he sees the more intricate coverages, the way he sees teams setting up, playing against him, whether they're going behind the screen or over the screen. He's going to learn better the combinations of guys that he's playing with and what it is that they can do so that he can put them in even better situations to score. And he hopes that they knock down shots when he gives them the ball with the opportunity to do so. So Lonzo Ball off to what I think is a tremendous start. I don't know what it is.
But you got to look at just that video package there, right? I mean, you're saying expectations. We put together a video package. He had 3 made shots. We show all of them.
Well, look.
I mean, come on.
Look, he had a tough opening night against Patrick Beverley, to be expected. Come back against Phoenix team, a team that's not very good, and has an unbelievable basketball game. And then he struggles tonight against a bigger, more physical, veteran Pelicans team. So this is to be expected. The thing that I want to see, Lonzo, decision-making. Does he get better? Rebounding. Passing the ball. Teams are right now going to go under on him, but he's going to learn that when he's not making that shot, don't just settle for that 3. Keep attacking. Use that screening role, because If he gets to that elbow or inside the paint at 6'6.5", start working on the floater. Start making on those, working on that 15 to 14-foot range shot. And then what that's going to do is, when you get confidence in that, now when teams go under, you don't have to rush that three, because with them going two-man removed, you can step back, set your feet, and line up those threes and have a much better chance of making them.
The things that I'd like to see, Jared, when Lonzo starts to feel real comfortable within the NBA sets, especially in the half court, is for him to force action a little bit more.
Yep.
To use his ability to get into the teeth of the defense and into the paint, because instinctually he's going to find guys. Now, are they going to necessarily make every shot that he gives them the ball? No, but he's going to play the same way that Jason Kidd played in the early part of his career, where he was taking 9, 10, 11 shots a game and impacting it in ways that are immeasurable by statistics. But if you watch the flow of the game, he's gotten everybody involved. So I just am looking forward to the time, and it's going to be a few games, where he's actually getting into the teeth of the defense, forcing the defense to collapse, and doing a great job of balancing the scoring ability that he does have and then the instinctual playmaking that is coming along. But so far, so good. And one last little point is, and in this game, speaking with Justin Kimbrough about it, our researcher here, teams are going to do what it is that over the last 5 or 6 years a lot of coaches have talked about, and that is not having an offensive rebounder. So a lot of teams, maybe they'll have one. A lot of teams will go 1.5. But most of the time when the shot is taken, especially in the three-point area, everybody's pulling back. When you play against the Lakers, coaches will talk about a scheme because of Ball. Look, when he's on the floor, we're going to pull 5 guys back after the shot because we want to catch them in transition. That's when they're at their best. And who's their best at doing it? Already Lonzo Ball.